Hi students, in today's class we are going to learn about how to make passive and active forms for perfect tenses, interrogatives and imperative sentences. This table tells us about verb forms of 12 tenses. There are three major tenses. They are present, past and future. Each tense has four forms with different verb patterns. Verb forms of active and passive voices for present, past and future perfect tense is given in this slide. Now we are going to learn about present perfect tense. Verb form is have or has plus past participle form of the verb. That is for active. For passive, have or has plus been plus past participle. Let us move on to the examples. Children have eaten the cake before the party began. Here the subject is children, have eaten is the verb, the cake is an object, before the party began is a phrase. Now in the passive voice, take the object, the cake, since it is singular, use has been eaten by the children before the party began. Next one is, Loki has played the game well. Here the subject is Loki and the object is the game. Both are in singular. So even if you change the subject and object, there will not be any change in the auxiliary. The game has been played well by Loki. Let's move on to past perfect tense. Verb form is had plus PP in active voice, and in passive voice, had plus been plus PP. For example, the cyclone had destroyed the crops. Here the subject is the cyclone, had destroyed verb, the crops object. Now in the passive voice, take the object, the crops had been destroyed by the cyclone. Next one, our boss had objected our business proposals. Here the subject is our boss and the object is our business proposals. See, subject is in singular but the object is in plural. Had will be the same for singular and plural. So our business proposals had been objected by our boss. Next one is future perfect tense. Here we'll be using modal auxiliary verbs. Will, shall, can, must, etc. plus have plus past participle in active voice. In the passive voice, same modals with have plus been plus PP. We'll move on to the examples. The shopkeeper will have closed the shop by now. Here the subject is the shopkeeper, will have closed. The verb is in future perfect. The shop is an object over here. Let us take the shop. The shop will have been closed by the shopkeeper now. Next example is, Seema must have enjoyed the reality show. The reality show must have been enjoyed by Seema. Now we are going to learn about how questions can be converted into passive voice. There are two types of questions, WH questions and yes or no questions. For example, who teaches you Hindi? In this question, we would like to know a person who teaches Hindi. Similarly, what are you writing? Here, we would like to know what a particular person is writing. Then, can you lend me your pen? Here you can answer either yes or no. Similarly, will you meet me tomorrow? The answer will be either yes or no. Now we are going to study about different types of questions with the different tense forms. Now, simple present and past. Here the verb form will be do, does, did plus verb 1. Passive will be am, is, are, was or were plus past participle. I have already mentioned all the passive voice will have only third form of the verb or past participle form of the verb. For example, do you help her? Let us analyze the sentence. நமக்கு கொஷின் வரும்போது ஆக்சிலரி வேர்ப் எஸ் ஆர் நோ கொஷினில் ஆக்சிலரி வேர்ப் வந்துட்டு அதுக்கு அடுத்தது தான் சப்ஜெக்ட் வரும், அதுக்கு அடுத்தது தான் மெயின் வேர்ப் வரும். ஸோ டூ இஸ் அன் ஆக்சிலரி வேர்ப். அந்த டூ இஸ் இன் த ப்ரெசன்ட் ஃபார்ம். ஸோ அதனால் இந்த சென்டென்ஸு ப்ரெசன்ட் டென்ஸில் இருக்குதுன்னு கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணிடுறோம். ஸோ பாசிவ் ஃபார்மில் எடுக்கும்போது டூ டஸ் கொஷினில் இருந்தால் ஆம், இஸ், ஆர் இது மூணில் ஏதாவது ஒன்று நம்ம சூஸ் பண்ணணும். டிபெண்டிங் ஆன் த number of the object. Here her, இங்கே the object அதுதான். So her will change into she. So sheன்னு வரும்போது is தான் நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணணும். அப்போ is she helped by you? நீங்கள் ரொம்ப முக்கியமாக கவனிக்க வேண்டியது question should be in the question form. ஆக்டிவில் கொஷினாக இருந்தால் அது பாசிவில் கொஷினாக தான் இருக்கணும். நெக்ஸ்ட் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இஸ் does he clean the house? ஏன் இங்கே நம்ம does யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம்? பிகாஸ் த சப்ஜெக்ட் இஸ் he. does வந்து நம்ம he ஷீட்டுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். ஸோ he is the subject here. The house is an object here. The house is singular. So you have to start the passive form with is the house cleaned by him? எப்போதும் நான் சொல்லியிருக்கேன் பாசிவில் பாஸ்ட் பார்ட்டிசிபிள் ஃபார்ம் தான் வரும். ஸோ clean changed into cleaned. நெக்ஸ்ட் did you inform him? இங்கே நீங்கள் நோட்டீஸ் பண்ண வேண்டியது did என்ன டென்ஸ் past tense. What is the subject here? You. Object is him. Him will change into he. So did வந்தால் was or were. was சிங்குலருக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம், were ப்ளூரலுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். இந்த இடத்துல he சிங்குலர்ன்றதுனால நம்ம was யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம். Was he informed by you? Now we are going to study about continuous tenses in question form, present and past continuous tense. Continuous tensesக்கு verb form என்ன இருக்கும்னா am is are, was are were plus verb plus ing ஆக்டிவில் இருக்கும். பாசிவில் அதே auxiliary verbs, be form verbs am is are, was were plus being plus past participle. இதில் ரெட்டில் ஹைலைட் பண்ணியிருக்கிறது past auxiliary be form verbs. Now we'll move on to the examples. Are you drawing the picture? Okay, இங்கே you இருக்கவே are யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். Picture is the object here. அதனால் அதுக்கு என்ன auxiliary verb யூஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு நம்ம கொஞ்சம் திங்க் பண்ணி பார்க்கணும். ஸோ சிங்குலர்னா is the picture being drawn by you? Since it is continuous, we have to use being in the passive form. Similarly, was she cleaning the vessels? இந்த இடத்துல நீங்கள் நோட்டீஸ் பண்ண வேண்டியது என்னென்னா சப்ஜெக்ட் இஸ் she சிங்குலர் and the object is plural the vessels. ஸோ was or were அதில் நீங்கள் ப்ளூரல் ஃபார்மை யூஸ் பண்ணணும். Were the vessels being cleaned by her? Now we shall move on to perfect tenses in questions. Here the verb form is have or has or had plus past participle form of the verb in active. Have, has, had plus been plus pp in passive. Have is plural, has is singular. And had we use for past tense, past perfect. For example, has he attended the meeting? The sentence is in present perfect in the question form. Here the subject is he and the object is the meeting. So you have to start with since it is the meeting is singular, has the meeting been attended by him? Next one, have you written the book to him? Here the subject is you and the object is the book. Verb form is have written. So take the passive form, the book, singular. So use has. Has the book been written to him? By you. If you want, you can add, or we can, agent you can leave off. Next, had he enjoyed the food? Here had is for past perfect. There is no change in singular and plural. So just simply change the subject and object. Had the food been enjoyed by him? Now we shall move on to simple future. Here simple future அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது we will be using modal auxiliary verbs. The verb form is will, shall, can, could plus verb 1 in the active form. Will, shall, can, could, even other modal auxiliary can also be added plus be plus past participle in the passive form. For example, can you play chess? Here the subject is you and the object is chess. Can chess be played by you? Next one, will you complete the work in time? And the passive will be, will the work be completed by you in time? And the third example is, could you help me? See the pronoun changes. Me will change into I. Could I be helped by you? Now we shall study about how to change WH questions into passive form. Let us move on to the examples. Who gave you this pen? இந்த இடத்துல subject you, gave is the verb, this pen is an object. whoவை வந்து by whom நீங்கள் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும். by whom was this pen given? ஏன்னா கேவோட பாஸ்ட் பார்ட்டிசிபல் ஃபார்ம் கிவன்னு பாஸ்ட்டில் இருக்கிறதுனால பென்னு சிங்குலர்னால we are using was. next, when did you buy this house? இந்த இடத்துலையும் நமக்கு பாஸ்ட் டென்ஸ் தான். did plus buy வந்து பாட்ன்ற அர்த்தம். பாட்டனுடைய பாஸ்ட் பார்ட்டிசிபல் ஃபார்மும் பாட்டு தான். when was this house bought by you? அடுத்து how will you paint this picture? இங்கே இந்த இடத்துல நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணுற டென்ஸு future tense. will plus paint. Use the subject. This picture is an object. How? You should begin this passive also with how. How will this picture be painted by you? Now we shall move on to imperative sentences. Imperative sentences அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது அந்த இடத்துல சப்ஜெக்டே இருக்காது. Clean the board. Wash these clothes. Get me a glass of water. அதுக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும் சப்ஜெக்ட் என்னென்னா you. You clean the board. You wash these clothes. You get me a cup of coffee. அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். பட் அந்த you வந்து அங்கே விசிபிளாக தெரியாது நமக்கு. That is understood. You should also notice the relationship between the speaker and the listener. For example, please help him. Actually, here we mean you please help him. அந்த இடத்துல நம்ம எப்படி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணணும்னா you are requested to help him. இதில் நம்ம ஆட் பண்ண வேண்டியது ஒன்றுமே கிடையாது. to ப்ளஸ் verb. அதாவது இன்ஃபினிட்டிவ் ஃபார்மை நம்ம ஆட் பண்ணுறோம். வாக் ஃபாஸ்ட். யூ ஆர் அட்வைஸ் டு வாக் ஃபாஸ்ட். அதுதான் இங்கே பாசிவ். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இஸ் இம்பெரட்டிவ்ஸ் வித் லெட் அண்ட் லெட் நாட். திஸ் இஸ் த வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட் ஆக்டிவ் பாசிவ் கொஷின் அட் ஹையர் லெவல். ஆக்டிவில் எப்படி இருக்கும் அப்படின்னா லெட் மீ டூ திஸ், let me help you. let plus subject plus verb plus object இருக்கும். இதுவே let not அப்படின்னா don't help him. For example, let me teach the students. இது நமக்கு பாசிட்டிவாக இருக்குது. there is no negative sense. அப்போ நீங்கள் எப்படி ஆரம்பிக்கணும்னா let அது மட்டும் தான் ஆரம்பிக்கணும். let the students be taught by me. அந்த passive verb ஃபார்மை நல்லா நோட்டீஸ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. be plus pp. Next, let them do the work. This is also positive. Let the work be done by them. Third one, don't play a foul game. இந்த இடத்துல நெகட்டிவ் சென்ஸில் இருக்குது. ஸோ நெகட்டிவ் சென்ஸ் வரும்போது you should begin the passive with let not. Let not a foul game be played. நெகட்டிவாக இருந்தால் let not வச்சு நீங்கள் passive ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணணும். This is the very important question. Now we shall discuss about certain important points to be noted before answering. First, we should identify subject, object and also phrases in a sentence. Next, find out if the question is a statement or interrogative or imperative. Tense form in the active voice. அதுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி passiveல be போடணுமா, being போடணுமா, been போடணுமா அதெல்லாம் நீங்கள் மைண்ட் பண்ணணும். Next, you have to use by before the object. யார் in the passive form. யார் இந்த ஆக்ஷனை செய்கிறாங்களோ. அடுத்தது first and foremost is inversion of subject and object. And this table tells you about the changes in the pronoun. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.